Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the dispute between the government, the RMT and TfL. But before I tell you my brutest and honest thoughts on the current situation, we're going to read this article and I'll tell you what I think. TfL have been told it must embrace driverless trains as a condition for its long-term funding, according to reports. The requirement is part of a move to lessen the effectiveness of the RMT, which on Thursday called a second strike in a week in a row over job losses and pensions. It has sparked travel chaos across London, causing most lines on the Underground to be suspended, with commuters facing long waits for buses and taxis to get to work. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has reportedly insisted on driverless tech as a condition for long-term sentiment with TfL, according to Daily Mail, circulating government source. Industrial action or no industrial action, there is a strategic case for moving forward on driverless trains, a source told the paper. Right, so let's get into it. They should not be going after their pensions. People shouldn't be losing their jobs. I am totally behind all these strikes. I totally support the people that are doing this. Obviously, we're getting the brunt of it, but it's for good reasons. I totally support it. But let's talk about our first topic, night tube. So let's cast our minds back to 2020, when COVID kicked off, in March 2020. The night tube was suspended, as we know. But near the end of last year, they reintroduced it on certain lines, the Central and Victoria Line, and later the London Overground. And this bid was all to basically make the night streets safer for women at nights getting home, for women to get home safely at nights. But they brought it back eventually, because of the tragic murder of Sarah Everard this time last year. Yeah. The night tube was brought back at the end of last year, which is a good thing, because I tell you, from person, I like to travel at night, and getting home at 1, 2 a.m. with the night tube is great. So I'm glad it's back, but now, for months on end, there has been strikes on the night tube, on Friday and Saturday nights, because what's happened in March 2020, TfL unfortunately had to let go of 200 part-time night tube drivers, and the furlough scheme was not going to last forever, as we know. So what they wanted is they wanted all the remaining night tube roster staff to come off nights and do the extra shifts during the day to make up, lost trains and stuff, etc. But yeah, I mean, the night tube's been one whole big mess, but it's meant to be coming back this month for the Jubilee and Northern Line, which I really hope it does, because it will help me out. But the whole night tube thing's one big mess, and I hope they sort it out soon and these strikes are called off. Not just the ones we've experienced this week, but I'm on about the night tube strikes as well. I really hope they get a grip on it all and sort it all out. Obviously, it's bailout after bailout after bailout with the government, and the government are pushing for driverless trains, which is going to cause more strikes, and we're just getting nowhere. So it's just, if you ask me, it's all one big mess, and hopefully soon the government and RMT and TfL can sort out a solution for TfL's funding and bringing back more night services. It's a difficult situation, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's all sorted soon, because none of us want to struggling to get to work, home, wherever. But yeah, so night tube, if you ask me, it's all one big mess. I hope they get on top of it and sort it out all soon. Right, let's talk about driverless trains on the Underground. So, the Tories, Boris Johnson and his government have not learnt, 12 years later, they have not learnt their lesson. If you cast your minds back to think it was 2011, 2012 when the Jubilee line went automatic. There was massive repercussions of getting that system to work. TBTC, transmission trace train control. It was a headache for Thales and TfL to get it working. But they eventually got it sorted, and it was eventually, over the next couple of years, it was spread to the Northern Line, etc. But if you ask me, driverless trains, it's a vision of the future. It's going to happen. I personally don't like it. I find it boring. But it's going to happen. But the current state of automatic train operation on London Underground is they're currently resignaling the subsurface railway. That's the Circle District, Hammersmith City and Met Line. They're focusing on the core section of the District Line, the western end section of District Line, Earls Court area. That is the next section to go automatic the next 2 months. But say in 12 years' time, is there going to be a tube driver in front of the train? We don't know. We just don't know. I mean, I can't see. All I can see was we're just going to get strikes after strikes after strikes after strikes over the driverless trains. But the only way that they can get fully driverless trains on the underground is replace all the current stock, replace it all, and the signalling, obviously. But then you need to make your trains intelligent to pick up certain incidents. So, say for instance, you have someone's had a heart attack on the train. There's no train driver. There's no train cab. There's no train driver. So, say if somebody's having a heart attack or having a seizure, how is the line controller going to know that somebody's having a heart attack or a seizure or there's a fight? You know, they're not going to know because there's going to be no train captains. There's no train drivers. So they need to figure that one out. I personally think train drivers should stay where they are right now because they are fundamentally crucial to safety, passenger safety. So train drivers should stay. But if you have, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to go through this or see this, but you can hear where I'm you can understand where I'm going with this. Nobody should go through this. Nobody should experience this or see this. It's trauma and everything. But if you have a one under and somebody jumps in front of you, somebody jumps in front of the train, how are you going to tell the train that you've basically got somebody under the train? How are you going to tell? How's the train going to know? So they need to figure that one out as well. Obviously, nobody should experience something like that. But until TfL knock out these three areas I've just highlighted, fights, seizures, one unders, and two, TfL get on top of them, I can't see there being a tube train without a driver in front. And this could go on for the next 12, 15 years, but technology advances and they're going to be push. But yeah, as I said, until they get on top of that, and this and that, I support the members of the RMT for striking. I support them. And in all this mess, I just hope once we emerge from COVID properly, that, you know, TfL can be sorted out. But for the next months, years, it's going to take a long time to recover from COVID, and a long time for TfL to recover. But if you ask me, it's all one big mess, and I think tube drivers should stay forever because I want to do it for a career, you know. But that's my brutus and honest thoughts of the current situation with TfL. Thank you for watching, guys. And I'll see you on the tube sometime soon.